Yeah, so thanks for coming, everyone. Yeah, I've always been really interested and excited in possibly representing Australia in a game that I love playing, and this international rules series offers up a whole new challenge, a round ball, slightly different rules. Really throws a whole set of new challenges at me, and I've been really excited to play, as well as the opportunity to play with such a talented group of players. The idea was really appealing, so yeah, I was really stoked to be selected, and I've been practicing pretty hard with the round ball and doing a fair bit of training, so I'm fit, and I can't wait to get out there and play in a week's time.
Yeah, similar to what Nat just said, I threw it up in the air when I first got asked. You know, with the pre-season coming up and being fully fit, for me, I probably had a different option whether to give it a miss or you know, solely focus on completing a full pre-season. But yeah, I guess representing your country and doing that, you know, you can't say no to that. I'm very proud and very privileged to play, as Nat said, along some of the greats of the game and represent Australia. You know, you might not get another chance, so yeah, couldn't let this opportunity pass me.
How did you feel today when Patrick handed you actually the Australian jumper and had your name on it? Was that a bit of a special moment as well?
Yeah, real special. I guess you never get to represent your country, especially playing AFL footy, unless you do it in this way. So I haven't worn Guernsey like this since I think since the AIS Academy when I was 16 years old. So we played in South Africa. We played a bit of this. So yeah, it's a great experience, and I'm very honoured to be a part of.
Guys, what's the AFL done to change the thought process of the players? Because quite often the big name players weren't playing in this. What was the no-brainer for you? Why has there been this sudden turn? All the good players are playing.
Yeah, so clearly the criteria selection has changed, so that you have to be an All-Australian either this year or previous years to be selected, and that was really enticing for me. I have been asked to play before, but the club's been has pushed back a little bit due to the pre-season and the season coming up. So when this model was presented, I think all players who were eligible were really excited at the opportunity to represent the country and play with such a talented group.
What about you, Fyfe? When you got your jumper, what do you think? What was your immediate thought?
Yeah, well, I'm wearing number 6, so I was thinking, who's got number 7? It was probably my initial thought. I think Harry Taylor's probably taken that, which I'm pretty happy with anyway. But yeah, super stoked. I've got a mate, Aaron Zalewski, who plays hockey for Australia, and I've always been really jealous of him wearing the Australian colours. So yeah, really humbled and really privileged to be wearing it.
What about the round ball, guys? I think you've all been sent one. Have you been doing much with it?
Yeah, I've been in Europe the last month, and I took it with me. So I was kicking it all through sort of Portugal and Eastern Europe and up in Scandinavia. So starting to really acclimatise to it, and it's a different technique. It's a new skill, but it's a challenge, and yeah, I've really enjoyed learning how to kick it.
Yeah, I've got mine as well, so I've just been having a kick around at home and down at the local park. Everyone's looking at me thinking I'm probably going to convert and go to soccer or some stupid other game. But now we've got an Irish kid down at the club at the moment as well, so I have to get a few tips off him on how to play the game. But yeah, really excited to use it.
What about playing together finally? What do you reckon about that? You're supposed to be fierce rivals. Have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty spoilt with ruckman as it is, but I've always not enjoyed coming up against Nick, so to be able to hopefully sit underneath him and reap the rewards is, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Who are you individually most looking forward to playing alongside and just spending a couple of days with from the other players?
I guess all of them. You go through the list, there's all superstars in there. You know, the guy who's wearing number 7, I think, Harry Taylor, I've always admired. Guys like Selwood, Pendlebury, Paddy Dangerfield, I'd love to spend a week or so with him and see how he goes about his footy, and Fyfe as well. So there's a lot of guys out there who I'm really looking forward to playing with.
When Fyfe calls for the ball, that'd be a bit strange the first time.
He calls for it anyway in the derby, so but yeah, it will be a little bit strange, but nah, it'll be a good experience.
How tough is it to play with the round ball?
Well, I haven't actually trained with any other guys, so that'll be a new challenge. But kicking initially quite difficult, but we've really been instructed to kick only about over 20-25 metres and really master that skill. So a lot more effective for doing it now than it was when I started. But yeah, completely new challenge.
Is the technique going around the corner as opposed to the typical drop punt?
Yeah, so I think Ty Kennelly has had his input on how the best way to kick the ball is, and there's either the outside of the foot or the inside of the foot, like the traditional snap, are the two techniques which work best. If you try and kick it like a drop punt, it can go anywhere. So yeah, around the body or off the side of the boot is the best ways.
A question for both of you: have you had discussions with Clarko, Ross, or Chris Scott about the roles you're going to play in this game?
No, not yet. I haven't spoken to the coaches. Both of us, I guess, have been overseas and just got back into town. So yeah, we've got the camp. We go across to Sydney on Sunday, and then yeah, they might fill us in a bit more over there.
We did get some instructional emails, basically on a little bit how we want to play and how we want to defend, and that sort of goes into a little bit how we want to move the ball, but not specifically what each of our roles is, but more generally how we're going to approach the game.
What about winding back the aggression? It always seems to be the hardest thing for the Aussie boys. Have you thought about that perhaps not going as hard at the man?
Yeah, there'll be no winding back. Nah, I think we're all competitive beasts. So once we get out there and the ball's bounced, is it, or thrown, or whatever happens with the ball, we'll attack it.
How's the fitness, mates?
Yeah, pretty good. So I think, same as Fyfe. We've had our off-season programs have been running. I've been back with the club for about a week now, training as well. So yeah, there's just the skill component with the round ball that'll probably be the most challenging part.
Yeah, I'm probably in the best off-season fitness I've been in my career. So had a program set by our strength and conditioning staff, and they've liaised as well with Darren Burgess, who's working with the international rules team. So been training really hard while I'm away, and ready to play.
How important is it we get a big crowd, big vocal crowd here in Perth?
Yeah, it's hugely important. I think we've sold 30,000 tickets, and they're selling fast. So I've only been home for a day, and I've had people ringing me and asking me in the street, where can you get tickets from? So we want a full packed house here when we play, and we want the full support behind the Australian team. And we know WA fans are the most enthusiastic fans in the country. So hopefully we can sell all the tickets.
Nat, you're flying the flag for regional WA. How proud does that make you feel?
Yeah, I love representing country WA and love playing with other country guys. So I know there's a couple in the team. So yeah, it's a fair way from sort of humble beginnings at Lake Grace, but yeah, love representing the country.
How have you got on over the years? You play proposition clubs, and do you see each other socially, or do you catch up with each other?
I wouldn't say we hang out away from the footy field. Probably wouldn't go down well in Perth, but no, we never had any problems, any real scuffles in the field. I don't know, maybe once or twice, but no, that's been pretty good, pretty good out there.
I'm smarter than to try and take him on.
Hey, can I ask you a question from Melbourne? They've allowed the kids to go onto the MCG now after matches to kick the footy. Is that something you remember as a kid doing, and is that a great thing for kids?
Yeah, I think I just going back to waffle level. You go at every huddle that there is. You go on the ground after the field, but I guess you can get hurt out there, especially AFL clubs or the AFL as a whole. It is pretty dangerous. Insurance does cost a lot of money. I think they might have gone across to London to go and source out some sort of deal. Yeah, it's a good spectacle to have back and to be brought back into the game, but I guess it depends on what ground, who's looking after the grass and who's looking after the kids who are having a kick out there.
For a kid to have a kick on the MCG, that'd be pretty special, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I do some work with the Oz Kickers, and in the week leading up, they take a lot of kids out in the ground. So there are avenues for kids to be able to get out there, and it's a special occasion. But yeah, there's more to it than I could understand.
Nick, you said it was your choice at the end of the day about whether to take part in this match or not, and you mentioned the pre-season. Did you come close to saying no?
No, I'd always assess and see how I felt after my break, after I'd completed probably the month or so of running in the off season. So yeah, if I came back in good nick and feeling good, I'd put my hand up and say yes. But no, once I was asked, I was pretty keen to play and had my hand up the whole time.
And the club backed you in on that decision?
The club did. Simo was involved with it a while ago, and he knows how much it means to players. And yeah, he was really respectful of that and said just to go out there and and take the opportunity.